Normally, I would be talking about the daily reflections and just an entirely different thing in general. For now, let me tell you what I've been thinking about, and this is the reason it's on my mind, and a lot of you might be able to relate to this. At a certain point in my drinking history, I was at a very large duration of anger and hostility, and it didn't matter who was around, but it was getting directed one way or another. When I would get tanked up and I'd already be a couple cases in, that's when this would really come to light, because I didn't care who was around and I didn't care who was getting affected. And most times, more than not, folks, it was my wife who was going to take the burden. At this point, I am not going to tell you any certain place or actual moment in time, because that could still come back at me. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. So I owe my wife a lifetime of living amends, and that's what I've been trying to do. And one of the primary things that I'm talking about is that I was physically violent towards her one actual time that I can remember, to a point where it should have been a spot in my mind where I was like, stop it, dude, stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin, and yeah, I'm about to rhyme, but stop what you're doing, because your life is about to take a different turn and you're about to affect your wife in a way that can never be taken back. What had happened is that I was getting drunk after work. I can't remember the day and I can't remember the exact reasons that I started to get angry and to feel alone and to feel rejected and all of the things that make me a horrible person when I'm locked in a moment of drunkenness and my only response is to lash out. I was really drunk and we were arguing about something. I can't remember what it was, but her parents were on one side of the continent and we were on the other. She was saying something about she wanted to go back and see her parents. And folks, if you're sensitive to domestic violence or anything like that, turn your ears off and please don't judge, because this was a point in my life that I can never take back. I can only try to improve it and improve myself, as well as the relationship I have with my wife as I move along. With that out of the way. So we were arguing and everything else, and I remember telling her, you know what, if you don't effing like it, you go back to your parents. And she said, okay, fine, I will. In a pure rage and a total blackout, I'm not sure how this transpired. I remember shoving her or something like that, and she told me that she was leaving me and that I was a piece of crap and all these things that were probably true at the moment. And she had every right to be angry, and she had every right to feel unsafe, and she had every reason to go home. I proceeded to follow her around the house. And if you've ever been into an argument where somebody's not backing up, they're actually just aggressing toward you more, it just gets more and more heated. But the alcoholic brain that I was running at the time, and the way I dealt with rejection and fear and abandonment and all that crap that I always talk about, all came to surface. My brain was saying, I'd be damned if you're leaving. And a lot of domestic violence starts out this way, and that's how the domestic violence transpired between my parents. So I kept aggressing towards her, and I said, you're not going anywhere. And, you know, I'm sure my face told 1,000 stories, and I'm sure my eyes were piercing her emotions to a point where she was on a breakdown. Matter of fact, that year, I later found out that she tried to kill herself because of me. And this is nothing I'm proud of. This is just something that's been on my mind lately. I was completely in love with this woman. We'd only been married about 2 years, I think. And I didn't want anything more in my life, but the alcoholic that was fueled by the alcohol and toxic poison that was ruining my brain was controlling the situation, and my character defects, I couldn't suppress those. They only became worse and worse. As the argument got even more heated, she threatened to call the cops and everything else, and instead of me saying, shit man, slow down, and try to revert the whole situation to telling her that I love her and I'm just afraid of abandonment, the drunken rage turned into the hell you will, because that's going to affect my career. Unfortunately, folks, that's what it was at the time. It was my alcohol and my career. I didn't really give a crap about anything else. And so as she threatened that nature, the whole love for her factor wore off. And I was more worried about my career, and I was more worried about being able to still drink the way I drink. Now, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I just know that it's on my mind, and it's making me feel a bit horrible about myself. And I just want to try to make this go away for now, because I've dealt with this feeling for decades, and that's why I'm telling you, I guess. So as it raged on, good thing not many people watch the channel, right? Not really. I am motivated and I am energized. Just right now, I don't feel too well. As that argument ensued more and more and more, I remember I said something like, screw you, do whatever the hell you want, call the cops, whatever. And I went out onto the balcony and I was gonna smoke a cigarette. In fear for her, she shut the balcony door. And I don't know why I remember the details about this, but I can't tell you what happened yesterday, you know? So anyway, so she shut the door and she's outside, or no, I'm outside, she's inside, and I am kicking that glass with every intention of busting through it. And thankfully I couldn't bring myself to damage the government property because of risk for my career. That's how shallow I was. And risk of neighbors finding out, because if that happens, my career is over. And shit, perhaps it should have been at that point, I don't know. I remember hitting it just to the point before it would break, just to scare her enough to open it. And she wouldn't, she was scared as hell. And you know, to this day, I don't know if it's appropriate for me to forgive myself for putting her through that. And you know, I know there's still apprehension from that long ago that is probably still hovering around in our relationship. Because I gotta be honest, folks, that's not the first time. And I'm just thankful that I'm sober today and I don't have to put her through that and see that fear and that question in her eyes of, why the hell am I doing this? You know, I was in such a bad place and such a bad point that I just didn't understand the value of who she is to me, and you know, instead of what she is to me. I know that's a lot of rambling and that's a lot of what the hell is this video about. Well, folks, this video is about, you know, loving the ones that you're with for them and not loving them for what you can get. I don't know, that's just what I think. And you know, without the alcohol in my life, I'm able to see the value of my best friend, my wife, and I'm able to see that she is way more than an object, or way more than just a spouse, and all these other objective nouns that we give our significant others. And I'm grateful for that, folks. I truly am grateful for that. And I'm grateful to be able to talk to you guys about more than just the daily reflections, because I know, you know, some folks aren't with AA, and I got it, man. I seriously do. But I will tell you for a certainty that if Alcoholics Anonymous had never become part of my life, I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't be driving my second car right now to the grocery store for my family, because I didn't even know how to grocery shop, man. And I wouldn't be with my family in order to tell you about that. If you can relate to any of this ramble that I just put out, drop the comments below, man, because somebody is going to get some of that, and they're going to be able to benefit from your experience, strength, and hope. I had to slow down dramatically because there's like this flash camera here on this highway. I really wanted to do a live stream, but I wasn't able to get to it. This job is consuming because of the way the hours are shifted. I mean, it's not too long, but it's just at the worst part of my day. And you know, you guys are the beginning of my day, and I appreciate you taking the time out. If you haven't taken the chance to subscribe, because I noticed, like, 80% of viewers are not subscribed. And if you want to be a part of this and you want to share your experience, strength, and hope with the rest of the globe in hopes that someone else can get something from it and benefit and maybe not make the same mistakes that I've made and that you've made, maybe, subscribe so this channel grows. That's enough about that, because that's not what I'm about. I'm just stressed out. I know you don't want to hear about that. You just want to see, I'm about to generalize. That's my alcoholic brain right there. Anyway, life's a garden, folks. Dig it. I hope you got something from my little ramble, and I hope that you guys have a nice day. I will see you in the next one. This is One Sober to Another, folks, and guess what? Bye-bye.